Hey guys, I'm SJ. I'm a mum of 3 and today's video is about a technique I'm using called attachment play. It's basically from this book, which I will show you and I will link below. It's just called Attachment Play by Aletha Solter. As this isn't my theory, I basically bought this book because I've got an 8-year-old, a 5-year-old and a 1.5-year-old, and I'm not too keen on punishment, and I realised I'm doing so much bribery and I wanted to just have a different techniques in my arsenal. Bought this book and devoured it. It is so good. Basically her theory is that we should be able to get through behavioural issues without reward or punishment. So she doesn't like time out. She thinks it's not good for children to be separated when they really need us, and when their behaviour is bad there's maybe a root problem. She has basically split the book into different behaviour issues. She doesn't shy away from anything. Literally there is school anxiety in here, homework issues, use of bad language, how to get toddlers to cooperate. She has tips in here for adoptive parents. Actually, a mum who adopted a child contacted me when I was talking about this book on Instagram and said that she'd been recommended it. So it's just a really interesting theories. So yeah, here is some of the techniques I've loved. If you like this video, I'd love it if you subscribed. You can hit the little red button that says subscribe below and get all of my videos, and if you are already subscribed and you like it, do share it with a friend, get them on over here and I will make some more of this type of video. So one thing I absolutely love that she says in this book is the more they laugh the more they'll heal, and it makes me a bit emotional because I just so believe in it. Like, I've always been the type of mum who loves to play and make them laugh, make them giggle, whatever is going on, because you know how healing that is. And when she says heal, it doesn't have to be over something huge, but she talks a lot about school stress, and this really resonated with me. I've got 2 in school now. My older son really struggles with a bit of school stress and anxiety, and that comes out in behaviour like not wanting to go to school, maybe separation anxiety, but also just being argumentative, not being kind in the home. And she talks about the fact that when you've been at school, it's very stressful for children being out of control and out of power, and I totally understood that. So she's basically saying that when they're getting out of school, it's just a big power struggle. Even, she says, children having to just do as they're told and follow a crowd can make them feel really stressed, which I get. I'm sure you do as well. It's like going on holiday with like 20 people and all having to eat at the same time and do everything. It just builds up inside you. Then you get by alone, you're like, ah. So she recommends power reversal games, and these have worked so brilliantly. So she says you might notice that children wrestle a lot after school. My boys certainly wrestle loads. And she said all that anger is physical, it's inside you, and that needs to release tension. So I do notice that they roll on top of each other. I really don't want to get involved in the wrestling, so it's a bit much, but a technique she says is to have one of your children hold onto a pillow and you've got to get the pillow off of them. So it's giving them, regaining that power. They're in the one in control. You're trying to get this pillow off them, but you absolutely cannot. You're falling over. Like, it's a real clowning about type of technique, all of hers. And basically this is a great one to do just before homework, so they have something physical, get all their energy out, regain their sense of self-control and self-worth. They're in charge, they're on top, and then they can get back into being themselves again. One interesting thing she says about this sense of control is that tickling isn't a great one, because it is about being out of control, isn't it? When you're being tickled, you can't control it anymore. So she's saying to try and limit the tickles to get the laughs, which is good for me to know because I tickle a lot. My second child, Finn, just started school with a speech delay, and I've spoken about it a lot on my channel. I'll link it below if you do have a child with speech delay. So he has that performance anxiety each and every day where he has to try so much harder to communicate and say his letters. So I made up a game that I play with him where I've given him a mummy remote. So on the remote, it's basically he can make me talk Chinese, he can make me be totally gobbledygook, he can make me silent. So giving him that power to switch off my speech, to make me the one who cannot be who's not communicating, and him the one in control, is such a nice game to play after school when he's had to go through all that, just to regain his power in himself, to be like, yep, it's not just me, now I get to tell you that I don't understand you for a change, but in a non-nasty confrontational way, just a game, because we are seeing that frustration coming outside of school. So if your child is having a struggle, think about a power reversal game that could let them do their particular issue. So another anxiety that my children have is kind of going to clubs after school, or even just some school anxiety she's explaining in the book is fear of rules and fear of just the strictness of school, which my children don't have as much, but they don't like the idea of joining in clubs. So she has this funny play game where you do nonsense rules to relieve the tension, and I do this now to get the kids off and into a club, a sports club. They don't want to go, they're a bit nervous. So as we're getting ready, I say, and the one main thing you've got to remember is no having fun. And then they're like, we are gonna have fun. And if it's a football club, I'm like, and you're not allowed to kick the ball, just make sure you only roll it along with your nose, and just make up silly rules. And it basically makes them laugh. And as we said earlier, it's just laughter is healing. And as silly as that sounds, it just releases all that tension from them and shows them that it's not that serious. You're not there to score goals, you're just there to have fun. And just as they're going off, it gives them a happy feeling. And she says if they're very anxious about school rules, then to do the same, so nonsense rules again. So I did this the other day, and Freddie seemed really anxious about school, and I was like, because he's gone up into a higher group and it's a bit more tension. He's like, if I get 2 mistakes wrong, I'm going to lose my pen license. And I was like, that's true. And I was like, and did you know that if you shout jam in assembly, you have to wear jam in your shoes all day? And he's like, what? And we were just laughing about it on the way to school. Just making up other silly rules just helps them to deal with the fact they're in this structure. It's not as scary as they think. And when they're hearing a rule, they'll think of their own silly rules, and it will just make them laugh. Oh, this next one is great. Separation anxiety. Whether they're little or older, she talks a lot about separation trauma in her book. She does not shy away from tough behavioural issues, but you can kind of think about your own child having that separation anxiety. You know, they cling to you when they're trying to go into a classroom or nursery. So this is great for younger, but I've done this with my 8-year-old as well. A fun game to play, we play it in the morning, is pretending that you're glued together. So I go up to him, help him get ready with, and I go, uh-oh, we're glued together, we're stuck, and he has to kind of like go around with me. And because she's saying that anxiety is just a desperate need, and that clinging for touch and for security. And so by saying I'm glued to you, I'm stuck to you, and giving him that tense, big touch, outburst, or whatever I'm trying to say, really helps to give them that. That's their underlying need when they're really facing that anxiety. So we're stuck together, we're glued together. He finds it really fun. He also turns it into one of those power reversal games we talked about earlier. He's like, right, I'm in control of you now, mummy, you have to do what I want to do. Which, yeah, wasn't the idea in the morning, because that took a long time. But yeah, you're stuck together, but then you change it round and you go, oh, actually I love the fact that we're stuck together, because you actually taste like chocolate ice cream and I'm gonna lick you. And then they're like, oh no, and then they run away. So it's kind of a fun technique to play at home whenever suits you. But then when you get to that separation moment, they're clung to you, you can play the game again. You go, oh, we're glued together, but you taste bacon butty, so I'm gonna gobble you up. And then I don't want to use that, I'm vegetarian. And then they run off into the class again. So just giving you that one thing for them, which is that need for touch and big hugs and affection before, and then a technique to get away from you as well when they need to, with a smile on their face. Okay, I've got one more technique for this video, and as I said, if you would like more videos on this book, I'm really happy to make them. Just let me know in the comments below. Of course, I will link the book as well, because these aren't my ideas, they're hers. But there's something great about in her book that I loved, which is about test or competition performance anxiety and worries. And all of our children have that, don't they? Whether or not they're going to do SATs, GCSEs, a music exam, even just a school sports club, anything where there's competition, it's really stressful, isn't it? So she talks about this theory in psychology about bad rehearsal, good performance, and you may have heard that. And so she says what you need to do as a parent is do the bad rehearsal for them, so they get the power, so they're in control, they are the tester, you are the student, and you just do everything wrong, like, oh my goodness, this question's written in Chinese, invisible ink, who would write a test in invisible ink? Or you're just doing the piano but you're falling off the chair, you're getting everything wrong, the music's actually a newspaper, like whatever it is, it's just going to crack them up. But they get to be the one in power, so they get to see that it's not that bad when you fail, and also they get to have that bit of control. And she says it is a real thing. If you've had that bad rehearsal, then you have that great performance afterwards. And I think just teaching them that it's not that serious, that these tests don't matter, we can still have fun and laugh about them and do our best, is better through play, isn't it, than all those words that I'm always putting into him. So she does loads of other techniques in this book about toddler cooperation, about bedtime anxiety and stress, because she talks about how we're programmed as young animals to be next to our adults, protectors, and say that understandable why children feel that way. I'd love to make videos on all of those if you would like me to. If you've enjoyed this, do give it a thumbs up. Do hit subscribe so you don't miss the next lot of videos, and I will see you all very soon. I hope you love this book as much as I do in these techniques. I just think it is so lovely to hear new ways in which we can parent the best that we can do, and I'll see you all soon. Bye guys.